Welcome back to the Cox Motor Parts Civic Cup here at Castle Combe. Paul Taylor starts on pole position with Mark Gibbons alongside. David Buchy and Bruce Winfield row 2 from Mark Grice and David Vincent. James Griffith on row 4 with Danny Hobson. Rob Baker and Jason Ballantyne next from Chris Combe and Ben Sharp. Andy Hart on row 7 from Adam Kruger. Then it's Dave Poyser and Craig Carter. Danny Reason with Paul McHugh and Ollie Barsby completing the grid. Oliver Barsby, of course, our first casualty of the meeting and hasn't had a racing lap yet, but let's hope that gets rectified here. The lights are on and go out. Paul Taylor and Mark Gibbons then, 10th and 9th respectively in race 1 on this partially reversed grid. We're not going to get a Ballantyne fly from the outside, but it's a decent start by Gibbons. Good too, though. He's matched by Paul Taylor on the inside line as they go through Folly down towards Avon Rise for the first time. Up Avon Rise indeed, into Quarry Corner. David Buchy coming under pressure from Mark Grice. Buchy at the moment looking for 3rd position. The 37 car Bruce Winfield is immediately on his outside as they head down to the S's for the first time. A long farm straight. This is the view as they come into the S's, and it's Paul Taylor still there. Mark Gibbons giving him a good run at the moment. And it's a superb, I really commend the championship format here, that we have a partially reversed grid race in race 2, because it gives us a chance to see some of the drivers that perhaps we didn't get to focus on in race 1, and we do in the early stages. So anything with reverse grid racing is ideal for TV and race day coverage. Jason Ballantyne about to be passed by James Griffith down the inside line. Ballantyne was teeing up again on the inside to repass, but on board with Rob Baker. Baker, championship leader. 1 win, 3 second places this year, 178 points on my maths. We don't have the official table for you after race 1 as of yet. So David Vincent is the car immediately in front, the 75 machine. David looking for his first win of the season still, but has been on the podium. What a sight they make, this top 10. Very difficult to sort themselves out, of course, as Paul Taylor still continues to lead. We've now got Mark Grice up into 2nd place. David Buchy is 3rd. Then Bruce Winfield in the 37 4th, which is where he started, but he's passed cars, but he's had a couple pass him as well. David Buchy started to his inside, and we're on board with David at the moment. Podium position. This will be his first podium this year if David can maintain that place and indeed pace over the course of the race. We've had 9 of today's field on the podium so far this season. It's a really good stat to underline how competitive this championship is. But look at the gaggle coming towards us. Championship leader Rob Baker at the head of that. Jason Ballantyne down the inside of Danny Hobson makes the position up. James Griffith in behind, so Griffith didn't get that place made from the earlier lap as they go into Bobby's once again. Rob Baker 24 points clear at the moment of Jason Ballantyne on total points scored. Then Mark Grice 3rd in the championship, 147. Really close for 4th and 5th between the two Daniels, Danny Hobson and Daniel Reason, 134 and 133. And James Griffith, by my math, 6th position. I might have missed someone out. Apologies to you if I have. But we've also got drop scores to cater for as well. Look at the pressure that David Vincent is under at the moment, and that big sweeping outside line is looking very appealing at the moment for Rob Baker. The outside line not for the faint-hearted, but he's side by side at the moment with Danny Hobson. He'll grab the inside line for the first part of the S's. Hobson holds on to position, and Rob Baker with work to do. I tell you what, Paul Taylor's doing a super job out front at the moment, the race leader. We've got Mark, just checking on Mark Gibbons, who's lost a few places at the back of the shot there, down behind. I think that's Daniel Reason, 77 is up ahead of him now. But Mark Gibbons with a good learning opportunity, isn't it? Starting on the reverse grid at the front and just getting the opportunity to learn what it's like psychologically to be up the front, and he did well. Did well off the start, tracked Paul Taylor for a bit as well, and will have learnt greatly. Here's David Vincent, the predominantly white, red and green car that you'll see in shot, the 75 machine, very much in the thick of it, and chasing Bruce Winfield in the 37 for 4th place at the moment. The race leaders heading away from us, so Winfield coming under pressure, now the back end steps out, Winfield is off, and he's going to glance into the tyre barrier, and that's a top 10 out of the question for him. He's reversing, so I was going to say I don't think there was a huge amount of damage. He might possibly pit for a diagnostic, but he's got the car going, so thankfully not our first casualty of the race. But not the way Bruce Winfield wanted this. He's got an awful lot of work to do to get back up to the sharp end. Started 4th position and loses out, and losing out as well is Craig Carter, who's got damage, sadly. Craig starting in 16th place, and he's going to be our first retiree, sadly, of the race. Well, frenetic stuff, and the race beginning to settle down into a pattern. And it's Paul Taylor still there at the moment. Mark Grice in 34, busy hounding him. David Buki is 3rd, a little bit of a gap back to 3rd at the moment, but we've got a big battle for the lead on, and Buki's got the box seat for this. And watch Mark Grice challenging for the lead. Where is Grice going to make his move? It's a fast flowing circuit. He's got the inside line, he's got his nose up the inside line of Paul Taylor, the race leader. Side by side, they're closing in now on Craig Carter. Here we come, up into and through. Grice is through into lead position as they come out of Bobby's. I beg your pardon, that was the S's. So out of the S's, and we've got a new leader. It's Mark Grice in the 34 car, who finished in 6th position in race number 1, has come through. Good stuff there from Craig Carter, who moves wide, allows them through. That was really good race reading from him. You can see the marshals not aware that he was there, so there's no blue flag for him, so he's very much aware that he's got a problem, looking for the race leaders in his mirrors. And Rob Baker's coming through as well. So Grice 3rd in the championship, he's the race leader, and this is a very good opportunity for him to make up points on Rob Baker, but Baker needs to chip his way through the top 10, starting 9th on the grid. There's the leader. Paul Taylor's in 2nd place, David Buki is 3rd, and Rob Baker is now in 4th place and looking to add to the fastest lap that he got in race number 1. Closed down. A podium is not out of the question here, but David Buki's not going to be easy to pass, and Buki makes a pass on the inside line of Paul Taylor. Buki 2nd, Taylor 3rd, Rob Baker is in 4th position now, so Baker, with the man who finished 10th, starting on pole position immediately ahead of him. Baker will know he's got more experience and will start to put the pressure on. In fact, he's got through, so Baker now up into 3rd place and wants to try and close down on David Buki, but it's Mark Grice out front at the moment. Grice with 6 wins in the championship by my reckoning, 16 podia, 4 fastest laps. Danny Hobson down the inside line of Paul Taylor as well. I take my hat off to Paul Taylor, led in the early stages very well, and that is big confidence building experience in the championship, as David Vincent now looks on the inside line of the PT Autos machine. And let's watch David Vincent, who's got the line, coming down into Camp Corner. He'll grab the curb, maybe come out to the outside line having made the pass. So it's Grice leading from Buki. Baker is in 3rd. Vincent still looking through on the inside line, and Paul Taylor's not giving up, rightly so. Great racing from him. And the sideways moment from Taylor. Was there a little bit of contact there? He's going to brush the tyre wall. That's a shame. Paul Taylor was holding up well. They're racing hard again. It's building experience for him, but again, a recovery. What more can you ask of the man? He's got back on track, recovered very quickly, and will continue with his race. David Vincent up ahead of James Griffith. Big moment there for Mark Gibbons in the 1-2-3, our fellow front row starter, who have done very well, and that's a problem for Danny Hobson. 4th in the championship, Danny Hobson is off. Oh, and in as well goes Jason Ballantyne. Jason Ballantyne's in as well. That's going to be a big... Now, Ballantyne moved up to 2nd place in the championship after the first race. That's before drop scores, and now very definitely drop scores are coming into the mix. There's no question about that. But Rob Baker is the man who leads the championship, and I think will continue to do so. He's up on a podium here. David Vincent running in 4th. It's still Mark Grice, the race leader in the 34 car, with Rob Baker now 2nd. David Buki is 3rd. Buki will become the 10th different driver to score a podium this season out of the field that we've got here today, if he can hang on to third place. And the question now is, are we going to see Rob Baker close in on Mark Grice? He's got the fastest lap of the race, Rob Baker, as he did in race 1. Good view from Buki, has a quick look in the mirror. He'll see the gap back to David Vincent running in 4th position. But it's only that Jason Ballantyne is still running. And we'll be actually with Bruce Winfield, who dropped down the order as well. So we've had some fairly big names having problems in round 10 of the championship here. Baker's got the most fastest laps of the season so far, 3 on the bounce for him. Bruce Winfield taking it round 6 at Alton Park, fastest lap. Baker, the fastest lap of both races on Anglesey, is getting a crack on now, and Mark Grice is under pressure. Look at Rob Baker, switches to the outside line here. Is he going to be able to get his nose in front? He's trying it, he's on the inside line as they head down towards Avon Rise once again, and he's through. He's got his nose in front, but Mark Grice is hanging on to it. Grice is having none of it. Held his line, held his nerve, took the inside line there into Quarry, and now the view from Baker. This the battle for the lead of round 10. Grice is there at the moment, looking for a second win of the season. Both of these drivers looking for win number 2 of the season. Baker, as the attacker here, holds all the cards, so he can take whatever line he wants to get as much momentum as possible for a dive up the inside line. But as they squabble, look, David Buki's coming back into the mix as well. Almost a rerun of the cars concertinaing up as they did in race number 1. Slightly fewer cars here, of course, in race 2. Right up at the sharp end of things, but a superb race nonetheless. Baker still challenging. 1 win, 3 seconds, no thirds. Grice with 1 win, no seconds and 3 thirds on his 147 points total. Baker here could actually sit back and think, do you know what, I'm ahead of the... I'm only 1 place behind Grice. Ballantyne, you might not know that Ballantyne's away down the order and on for a low point score here. Ultimately, of course, all of these boys are racers and they want to go for the win, and that's exactly what Baker wants to do now. Looks to the inside line again as they come through Avon Rise down into Quarry Corner, and it's still Mark Grice, the race leader. Again, the start for Grice was key, managed to get away, and Baker's caught him but has got to try and find a way past, and that's the difficult thing in these very evenly matched cars, very closely matched drivers as well. David Buki, superb to see him up at the sharp end as well, in 3rd position. 3-way battle for the lead. Don't discount Buki here. If it goes pear-shaped in the slightest fashion for 1st and 2nd, Buki is going to pound. He's close enough to make a challenge of his own right anyway. Baker can't quite get close enough at the moment, so it's Grice still there, on board with the championship leader. Baker challenging hard, what can he do? Got a great view of the rear end of Mark Grice's car. Grice, who was runner-up in the championship last season to Lee Deegan. Daniel Reason 3rd in the championship last year. And Reason working his way up into the top 10, so from the back of the grid, that's the best probably that he could hope for in this. Reason will, I think, go back up into 4th, possibly 3rd in the championship. We'll have to work that out at the end on the points, but Rob Baker will go, if he keeps this up with his championship lead intact. Mark Grice will, I reckon here, go back up into 2nd position in the standings if he can hold on to the win. David Buki is in the mix as well. Buki, championship-wise, is in the top 10, so David Buki here having a good campaign as well. But it's Mark Grice still the race leader. Going into Bobby's once again. Baker did look stronger earlier on. He takes a slightly tighter line there. Nothing defensive in Mark Grice's driving at the moment. Down Dean Straight, through Camp Corner, dab on the brakes, grab the apex, drift out to the curbs on the outside line and onto the last lap. So what's Rob Baker going to be thinking here? Is he going to be no, he's not sitting back, he's getting closer, and Baker wants to try and force a mistake. Takes a slightly different line, shows a look on the outside line here as he goes through Avon Rise down towards Quarry Corner for the last time in this 1.85 mile circuit. And Baker again, look at the wide line that he's got here. This is still attacking, he's still thinking about it, has a quick swing to the inside line, not close enough to do anything about the race leader. And Mark Grice not overly defensive. I don't think that Mark Grice feels that threatened. He knows he's been in a race, but we're not seeing any overly defensive moves from him. Baker putting the pressure on, still with the fastest lap, which was set again on the penultimate lap. Missed the last lap of the race, so it's Grice still there. David Buki will be a 10th different driver from this field to step on the podium this year by the look of it, as they now go into Bobbies, out of Bobbies for the last time. Westway, this is Westway coming onto the Dean Straight, down towards Camp Corner, and it's going to be Mark Grice to take a second win of the season to add to the one that he took at Alton Park. He'll look for the checkered flag, which is being waved now. There's the checker. Mark Grice wins round 10 of the championship. Rob Baker second, David Buki is third, David Vincent just seeing off James Griffith for fourth position, Griffith fifth, Daniel Reason in sixth from the back of the field virtually, so a great drive from him. Here's the result. Grice takes the win. Baker second and fastest lap from David Buki, David Vincent, James Griffith and Daniel Reason. Chris Coomer and Mark Gibbons next from Ben Sharp. Ollie Barsby up into the top 10. Paul Taylor 11th from Andy Hart and Bruce Winfield. Then Jason Ballantyne, Adam Kruger, Paul McHugh and David Poyser completing the finishes.
Mark, that was a brilliant race, and you must be delighted with the win.
I am. I'm really delighted. I mean, I come second to Rob in the championship at the moment, so I knew I had to try and beat him really. And I could see him coming through with his headlights glaring. He's the only one in the pack that had the headlights on. And yeah, we do ignore them. But when you're looking in your mirror and there's some headlights coming in, every time you're looking at another lap is another car closer. I thought he's going to come. I'm going to have to do some defending.
Yeah, and he's making big challenges, and I guess you've got to ignore those lights in those situations.
You certainly have, yeah. And I know, to be fair with Rob, we've got the same car. We both run with Area Motorsport, so we got the same car. So I knew it was all down to driving, and he's an experienced driver. He's a lot more experienced than I am, so I just knew I have to practice my defending, and I did that.
Yeah, and the cars are fantastic, aren't they? And go really well round Castle Combe. Very quick lap times as well.
Yeah, they certainly do. You know, we've put a lot of effort into these cars and a lot of track days to work on the setups and the everything, and we've got the MRF tyres and everything now. And yeah, they're very quick. You know, when people see Civic cars come round here at this pace, they wonder what they're doing with their road cars.
Yeah, and the reverse grid makes it really interesting. The first lap was quite dramatic as you all came through and jostling for positions, a bit like the British touring cars really when they reverse grids. It does make it entertaining for the public.
Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah, I mean, this morning I was running up in the top two, and then I had issues with my brakes, so I ended up dropping back. But it's always when it's in race one and you drop back, you've always got race two to look forward to, because you know the fast ones that were in front of you have then got to try and come and pass you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, very well done, Mark. A great drive.
Thank you very much.
Rob, that was some race. You started 9th and came through to 2nd.
Yeah, started 9th, went back to, I think, got up to 5th, sorry, then went back to 9th again, then up to 4th, and then put pressure on the guys in front. It was a cracking race, really good. It
was excellent. You're really putting a lot of pressure, weren't you, on your teammate there?
Yeah, a lot of pressure on him, and we both raced fair. We raced each other all year, and he withstood the pressure well. He did well.
Yeah, what sort of, how do you decide whether you're going to really go for it, or perhaps just...
as much as we're teammates, we race each other hard, but we don't do anything stupid. You know, we were probably alongside each other 10 times on those last 4 laps, but no contact, and he withstood the pressure well. He did
yeah,
well.
And I think that's great, don't you, in motor racing, that you can have such close racing, but actually you respect each other, which obviously is important.
Yeah, Civic Cup's a really good group of guys. You know, there's no animosity between anyone. Everyone gets on, help each other when people have accidents. You know, and the racing's what it is. You watch any of the videos all year, you'll see racing exactly as you've seen today.
Absolutely, and yeah, it's good for your championship. I think you've extended your lead a bit more, so you must be pleased.
Yeah, first time double podium in a weekend. Like I say, the calibre that's on the grid, it's hard to get through from when you're on the back row of the reverse grid to a podium. So dead happy with that. Yeah. Fastest laps as well, really good.
Very well done indeed. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
3rd place, must be real pleased with that, David.
Yeah, it's really good to bring the car home in third. You know, we've had a difficult start to the year, to say the least. Rob did a fantastic job, likewise did Mark. You know, I think Rob's been a bit of a flying bullet all year, hasn't he? Pulled on the inside of me coming into the S-bends, and you know, I just wasn't going to defend, and he took the place and obviously had the pace to carry it on. Want to say a big thanks to my sponsors, MTech Brakes. They've been with me for about 3 or 4 years now. Smart Image Workwear. Interlinks have just joined me this round as well, and a big shout out for SW Motorsports as well.
Fantastic, yeah, and I guess you really enjoy driving the Civic as well, because they're so fast and very competitive racing.
You know what, they're a brilliant car. The championship's absolutely brilliant. I've been in it for 4 years. I won it in 2016 in the Class A, and when you race in the Class A's, people think, do you have the ability to, you know, be on the podium in a Class B car? Funny, because the Class B's are quicker than the Class A's, but you know, yeah, this is our 2nd year in the Class B car, and to put it on the podium, I'm really happy, because I had quite a shocker of a qualifying session this morning. So yeah, no, I'm really happy.
Yeah, very well done. I think if you can drive a car fast, I guess you can drive a quicker car even faster.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see.
Very well done, and a good 3rd place for you.
Thank you.